Everybody. I'm business coach Nancy, and I am here with the CEO of DesignFiles, Sheilah MacSporran. Welcome, Sheilah.
Hello. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad you come every month as a sponsor of my group, the Interior Design Business Forum. So if anyone's watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe so you can always get notification of our learning opportunities here. So Sheilah, today we're talking about interior design task management. And when I saw the topic, I got really excited because to streamline your workflow, usually designers have to have either a Trello, Asana, Monday.com, all kinds of things they've come up with, to tell you the truth. And now it looks like DesignFiles has kind of built this in, which would be one less item on their deck stack, which would be amazing.
Exactly. So that is basically the goal. Get all that functionality that you would get in ClickUp or Asana and just bring that over into the same program that you would be using to do your invoices, communicate with your clients, do your design boards, so that you and your team just have one place to go for all the information and all the answers.
Yes. All right. So I want to see what it can do, because it's amazing if you were able to incorporate the task management. I feel like for designers is probably the most time-consuming thing that they hate the most. Obviously, sourcing is time-consuming as well, but they kind of like that most of the time.
Yeah, and I think that like the way that you manage your time and manage your projects, that's ultimately what is going to determine the success of your projects and the profitability of those projects. So just having that like one area where you're going to be able to go in, create that full detailed task list, add your due dates, assign it to team members, set priorities, just get that clear picture of everything you need to do to meet this deadline for the project and start knocking that off. So that's ultimately what we've built into DesignFiles. We can absolutely do a quick demo so you can see how it works. And if there is anybody out there who is still writing down notes on scrap pieces of paper to remind yourself of things that you need to do, and I'm guilty of it too. I know, like, I do it as well, but that's when things start falling through the cracks. That's when things get missed, and you just don't want to be in that position anymore. I've been stung by it. I know what it feels like. You want to have that one location where you just have everything that you need to take care of in one place, start knocking those things off.
Absolutely. And for those of you who aren't as tech friendly or savvy, like in my age group, I do end up writing things on paper, but then I go to my task management system at the end of a day or the beginning of the day, and I put it all in there so I can throw out those little pieces of paper if I didn't get it into the technology that I was using right away, right? Because sometimes we're on the run. So yeah. Let's see what DesignFiles can do now for task management. I'm actually extremely excited about this. Most of my clients are using DesignFiles.
All right, cool. So I'll go ahead. I'm just going to share my screen now.
Okay, so I'm going to remind everybody, I'm going to turn off my mic and then to get us off the screen. And then,
okay, just let me know if it's popping up for you, and then you can turn your mic off.
It has popped up. I'm going to bring it up into the screen. Oh, I think we're having tech. Okay, hold on now. I'm going to get rid of me. And I'm going to get rid of you. But they should still be able to hear us.
All right. Awesome. So it looks like everything should be showing on your end. So yeah, just to kind of give you a quick rundown of what we're trying to do here. Ideally, the goal is to get all of that task management functionality built into DesignFiles, so you don't have to jump back and forth between the program that you're using to create your designs and your mood or your designs, your invoices, your questionnaires, whatever the case may be, and then having to jump over to a different program so that you can review your task list, see which tasks you want to do, then jump back to the other program, manage that task. It's just a waste of time. So what we've done here is we've actually built tasks directly into DesignFiles, and we built it in two different ways so that you can use it depending on how you'd like to manage your task best.
Okay.
There is both a project task view and there's also a global task view. So if I wanted to just come into a specific project, you'll see at the top of the project navigation, there's a new option for tasks. And that will allow me to create just a detailed task list that's specific for this project. And when I create my detailed task list, and you can see here that you can add tasks up here or go to the bottom and then just add in a specific title for your task, go ahead and hit enter on your keyboard, and that's going to bring up this view. And this is where I get to then choose to assign this to a team member. I could set a due date for this. I can set a priority for this. I can add additional notes. So if I wanted this team member to review all these kind of key details that are going to be part of this task, I'm just going to add in all my notes here. And I can even add subtasks. So if this is, let's say that you wanted one of your team members to send out a welcome packet to your new client, but that welcome packet is going to include a variety of different pieces of content, documents, whatever the case may be. You can add in all your various subtasks here, and then that will allow that individual team member to start checking those off and make sure that they've taken care of every little detail before this task is considered complete.
Nice.
So you also can add attachments as well. So if there's any sort of images, any additional documents that you want to include, go ahead and add them here. And then you would just hit done. And when you do that, that task is going to show on your task list. If you have added a task where you've included any additional notes or subtasks, they're going to show like icons like this. So this is your note icon. This is your subtask icon. Nice. So it lets you know which ones you're going to go into to see the additional elements. And then if I was working on this particular task, I would just be checking this off to say, all right, I completed this. And you'll see your progress bar continue on as you get everything knocked off for this task.
I like the subtasks and showing the progress bar. Really nice touch.
Yeah, definitely. It just, well, I mean, we've definitely used things like this when we're managing our own team. So just breaking things down into subtasks definitely makes it a little bit easier, especially if you have larger project tasks that you're dealing with. Break it down into bite-sized pieces and it won't feel so daunting.
Absolutely. So I have a question, but I think you're going to address it. So if I ask it too early, just say I'm getting to that. Can you do duplicatable templates for tasks?
So that's what the team is. I knew this was going to be the first question to come up, and I'm actually glad that you asked it because the team is actually actively working on that right now. When we launched this feature, we sent it out to our full audience to say, all right, get in there, use it, let us know what's working for you, what you want to see added. And creating templated task lists was at the top. So that the team just immediately got started on working on that. And we should have that ready, I'm going to say within 2 weeks.
That's unbelievable because so let's say you have a full service design client and I'm just going to say living room and you have a template for everything you have to get done for a living room. And then maybe you have a separate template for a living room that's having a renovation and you're doing, you're redoing the facade on a fireplace. Anyway, more detail for renovations, right?
Yeah.
And you just have a template to duplicate and then you can always subtract or add tasks specific to that client. Oh my God, it's going to be
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. So if you wanted to, let's say that you want to have a separate task list that's going to be for bathroom projects, one for kitchen projects, one for remodels, one for just, I'm going to be refurnishing or doing some decor options for a client. You can create those detailed templated task lists and then just duplicate that entire thing into your next project. So it's there, it's ready for you, and then you can make any minor adjustments to it that you need to make for that specific project.
Okay, so anyone who's watching who thinks this is fantastic, just say this is fantastic because it really is. It's going to change. I love the fact that it's one less program, one less password, one less thing for your staff if you have a staff eventually to go into. It's really cool. So, all right, so you can go down and you can have due dates.
Yes, you can have due dates. You can order your tasks as well by the column. So if you want to organize by the due dates or by the priorities, then you can do that as well. I should mention that if you do assign individual team members specific tasks, when you assign it, they're also going to get an email notification. So everybody knows when tasks have been assigned to them. They can click through that email, come in, see all the tasks that are specific for them within the list, and then they can just go ahead and start checking those off. So any tasks that you have over here, you and your team members would come in, check them off as you complete them. And the other cool thing about this is that when you create your tasks for your projects, they're also going to show in your project calendar. So they automatically get added in so that you can see in your calendar view as well what you're going to need to deal with or what tasks you need to take care of on that specific day or make sure they're done by that day. And if I go back into this old view here, you'll see all the ones that have been scratched off and they're kind of faded out because we've passed through this month. So it just gives you different ways of looking at it. You can choose to just come into your detailed list like this, or if you like looking at things in a calendar view, you've got that as well.
Oh my God, I have an idea for you if you guys haven't thought of it already, and you probably
All right,
have.
hit me.
Combine all the active clients' calendars into one master calendar so that the designers can see what stage they're at each. Because often when they get a new lead, they don't know whether they can take someone on in the design phase or construction phase, because how many people do they have in that phase currently? Any thoughts of that for the future?
Already on the to-do list.
Woo-hoo!
So when we did the task feature, originally when we created the task feature, we created it just for individual project views. And then of course we threw it out there to the designers, got some feedback, and as well as having templated task lists, another request was having a global task view.
Yes.
So we built in the global task view up here, and we're going to be doing the same thing next for the calendar. So you've got your project calendar. So we need to just add in the global calendar that's going to show you everything that you've got on the go for all of your client projects.
I love this. Okay, awesome.
Okay. So let's have a quick look we've kind of talked a little bit about how you're going to manage your projects or your tasks within your projects. But if you do like the idea of just being able to just log into your account and go and see all the tasks you have for all the client projects you have on the go, you can use the global view up here. And then just to kind of help organize this a little bit more, you can break it down by project. You can break it down by the designers on your team or your team members, by priorities, and then also by incomplete or completed tasks. So it just lets you filter things down so you can get more accurate. And then of course you can always search by task title, notes, subtasks, whatever the case may be, so that you can just whittle it down and find those specific tasks really quickly.
Okay, great.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, so I think that probably covers enough of this with the shared screen, unless you have specific questions you want to ask, Nancy, and I can walk through some of those.
I think it's awesome. I mean, it's pretty much the same as an Asana, a Monday.com, or Slack, not Slack, Trello, Asana, those types of things.
Yeah.
Which, some of them are free, but it's always another place you have to go. So now you're going to be able to put in every step of the way, and you can add steps that you've forgotten midstream.
Of course. Yeah. You can keep editing your task list. So that's not a problem at all. You can add them to the global view. You can add them to the project view. Your team members can come in and add tasks as well. So you can just kind of, it depends on how you want to set up your teams.
Right.
So you can choose if you're going to be the one who's going to be managing that, or if you're going to allow other team members to come in and then go ahead and create some tasks as well.
So you have controls. They can be an administrator where they can add tasks, reassign tasks, things like that, or they can just be a person who's doing the tasks and marking them off as completed and not be able to touch anything else.
That's correct. So each team member, I guess each team admin, will have control over how they want their additional team members to access this. So you can choose to allow certain team members to add tasks as well. If you want, you can be the only person who's adding the tasks. It's completely up to you.
Okay, so let's think about using this properly right from the beginning. Client comes through your contact form in your website, you enter their name and the limited information you have in DesignFiles, and you can actually put in tasks to call them back.
Absolutely. First thing you're going to want to do anytime you kickstart a project, go ahead and create that detailed task list right out the gate, because the nice thing about that is that you're going to have this clear path forward. Okay, Here's everything I have to take care of. And I don't care how little it is, put all the little things in there that you need to manage, because those little things add up. So just add it all to your task list, set your due dates for it. It's going to give you this nice clean path forward that you have to take in order to knock off all these things and hit that deadline. So I would start every project with a detailed task list.
Yeah, so your detailed task lists can literally be call them back, fill out the intake form, schedule a paid consult, or note whether a paid consult is moving forward or not. Set that on the schedule. What should happen at the consult could all be in your task.
All of it.
And then whatever they sign, whatever program or service model you offer that was good for them, then you can have all your tasks related to their project. It's amazing. I'm telling you, once you have the duplicatable templates, even easier. And that you said is within hopefully 2 weeks.
Hopefully within 2 weeks. So yeah, the team's been cranking on that one immediately because yeah, we sent it. We literally launched it. We said, "Hey guys, let us know what you want," and it was like template. It's like, okay, I got it.
Right. Loud and clear. You know,
we'll get on it.
But that's one of the good things about DesignFiles and a couple of the programs. You're very responsive. You guys listen to your people and what they need, and you're constantly making upgrades. So that's what's so important. Something else just popped into my head, and then it just popped right out. So you can actually have, is it one long task list, or can you say, here's the task for onboarding, and here's the list for that we need for in-home consult, and here's the tasks then once you have which service model they chose, and then here's an offboarding checklist, like to make sure, like, so some of these things are the same for everybody, and other things have to be modified.
So I think you could approach it in two different ways. You could choose to have a separate task list that's going to be your onboarding task list or your offboarding task list. You could do it that way. And then you would we're setting it up so that you'll be able to have that template. And then you would just say, okay, add the onboarding task list to this project, add the offboarding task list to this project, add this sort of task list to it. So you could set it up like that. Or you could, in the interim, you could use the subtasks. So your main task would be, this is your onboarding task list. Keep all your add in all your subtasks for each element, check those suckers off. And then once you're done with that, you check off the entire onboarding task list. So it allows you to kind of use it in whatever way you want to use it. Some people prefer the subtasks. Some people are going to prefer to just have that whole templated list where they're just going to duplicate that over to a project.
Can you put notes under each subtask? So let's say you had the 5 questions you like to ask on a consult, and you bring over your consult as a task. Your subtasks are the questions you like to ask. Let's just say, is that possible to be typing into DesignFiles while you're on the phone, getting the information from the client?
Okay, so I just want to make sure I understand this correctly. So do you want the subtask to
onboarding a client, meaning they filled out your application, they filled out something from your website, or they called you, you put their name in DesignFiles. Now you're getting ready to call them, and you're at DesignFiles, and there's a task that says call client back, phone consult, right? Underneath the subtasks are whatever their sales formula, if they coach with me, like their notes on how that conversation should be, how it should flow, right? And then any question they may have, like I always tell them to ask 4 questions on the consult, things that will prepare them for the in-home consult, phone consultation versus in-home. Is that something they can just be typing in? Like their questions could be part of the subtasks of the phone call, things that they want answered, and it's all in there. So it stays with the customer's file within DesignFiles forever.
Okay, so you can set up each subtask to be all those different elements for this onboarding call. But we could look into adding, let me just give me 1 second. Can I just quickly jump over to my screen?
Yeah, and I'm actually thinking you probably can do this. I can bring it up so people can see when you're ready. I won't do it yet, but
I think it's up now. So let me go into a project.
Okay, and let me bring it up. I'm going to hide myself at least.
Tasks. Let's go into a subtask here. Okay, so what we would need to look into, let me know if you're seeing my screen with the modal pop-up that allows you to type all the notes or details into the task.
So let's say the sample task is intake phone call. So actually right there are the notes, but the subtasks could be a question. Have they ever used a designer before? Like one of the questions you want to ask towards the end of your consult, right?
Got it. Okay, yeah.
In other words, tell me about your project. Yes, I'm interested in it. It's perfect for our design firm. Tell me why it's important to you now. This is what I can do. Come to your house, blah, 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 blah. Let's set the date. So one of the subtasks would be set the date. The next subtask would be other information they may ask the client, like did you do your research and have an investment level in mind? That could be a question as a subtask. This can actually guide them through their process, as well as being a general place for taking notes on the entire project, is what I'm getting at.
You could have, so you could absolutely use it in that manner. So you would, like you said, you would have your main task name. You're going to add in your notes for anything that you want to anything that you want to reference or be reminded of for this particular task, or even if you're taking notes while you're on the phone with the client. But yeah, I think that you would probably break down your subtasks for this intake phone call to be like, here are the top 10 things I want to hit on for this call. Or you could use your subtasks if you wanted to just kind of collect additional information where it's like, oh, you know what? I wouldn't do it that way. I would say, okay, your task name, you're going to add that. Keep your notes area for all the information that you're going to be typing down when you're taking that information from your client. And if you want, you can set up your subtasks as these are the 10 things that I'm going to touch on this call. And I'm going to add all my notes in here as I'm on the call with the client, just so you have that location to kind of collect everything. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. And that's exactly what I wanted to know. If they could be using, because this is, a task management system, right? So we want to make sure that they can do their internal tasks and like everything, what the client's going to be seeing in the end, plus with their internal every single step. So it can actually be templated where they have their scripts, they have their notes, the things that they always need that they may forget, but they can then write all the answers in the notes section.
Yeah, you know what? This is another area where I think that having those templated task lists will really, really come in handy. So like you said, if it is going to be standard scripts that you're going to be using, if you feel like you want to have this kind of open up on your screen while you're on the phone call so that you are making sure you're hitting off on all the key things that are going to be really relevant for that first intro call, you can have that as a template and then just pop it up every time that you're going to be getting on those phone calls with your new clients. For the most part, I could also see that designers will probably use this more like, okay, here's all the things I just got to hammer out on this particular project, but that's a different way of using it. And why not? Why not? The more you can template out your whole business, the easier things get. So definitely different way of using it.
And that's exactly why I'm saying it. I think you definitely have to use it for all the tasks related to the client project. That's what you built it for. I think it's great for that. But then when I'm listening, I'm going, the internal process can be in these to-dos as well. And the things that they need to be reminded of, steps they forget. It could be all within the templates that they use and the to-dos. So
very cool, Nancy. You just gave me another idea for these things. So these chats are good.
I'm telling you, I'm a perpetual idea person. So when I see things, I'm like, ooh, we could use that for this and this and this again, so that you have less and less to be dealing with when it comes to running your business. So, all right. Any final tips we need to mention to anyone, and how do they get to you?
I think we're probably good on the tips for the actual task management. If people do have questions, always reach out to us on the live chat. The team's always available and they're always happy to help. And if you are interested in trying out DesignFiles and, testing out the task management or any of the other features, all you have to do is go to www.designfiles.co. And you can sign up for a free trial account and you get access to all of the features. So you can give it a go, see if it's the right fit for your business. And if you like it, great. Then you can choose one of the plans.
Absolutely perfect. Okay. Thank you, Sheilah. We are live once a month to go over the different features of DesignFiles. So if anybody is curious, and we see this all the time in my Facebook group, right? What software program should I use? And people weigh in all different ways. So this is DesignFiles. This is a software program to manage your projects as an interior designer. So if you don't have one, check out DesignFiles. The link is in the description, and mark your calendar to watch our live so you learn more and more about it. But you guys have so many videos, so many training videos.
Videos for everything. Every feature that goes out, you get a training video that goes along with it. It's very detailed. It's easy to follow. So it just makes it quick and easy to pick up the tools.
It's a beautiful thing. All right. Go have a great day, everyone. Have a great week. And thank you again, Sheilah.
All right. Thanks so much.
Bye, everyone.